This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and Talkspace, the leading virtual therapy provider, is telling everyone, let's face it in therapy. By talking or texting with a supportive, licensed therapist at Talkspace, you can face whatever is holding you back, whether it's mental health symptoms, relationship drama, past trauma, bad habits, or another challenge that you need support to work through. It's easy to sign up. Just go to Talkspace.com and you'll be paired with a provider, typically within 48 hours. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule. Plus, Talkspace is in-network with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. Make your mental health a priority and start today. If you're not covered by insurance, get $80 off your first month with Talkspace when you go to Talkspace.com and enter promo code SPACE80. That's SPACE80. To match with a licensed therapist today, go to Talkspace.com and enter promo code SPACE80.
Want to chime in on what's happening with your favorite KFAN program? Make your voice heard on the Bradshaw and Bryant text line. Let us know what you have to say by texting your message to 64686. That's 64686. Standard message and data rates apply. Corey Cove will be the first person to see that text.
Ooh.
Is that right?
How about that?
Oh, good for you, Cor.
Good morning,
I don't know
everybody.
if that's right or not.
Welcome to the Power Trip Morning Show. Here we are.
Hi.
Marney is over there.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, Marney.
Hey.
We're going to talk a lot about the Wolves' loss and
good.
the Lynx and so much, and the Frost getting the big win and all that stuff. But I have a very special guest during my news, so I'd like to get right to it if you guys don't mind.
Let's do it.
Do you mind at all? Do you mind?
No.
Okay, good. I'm going to get right to it right now.
This is KFAN News with Chris Hockey, presented by the St. Paul Saints.
That's right, the St. Paul Saints. And let me get this in for you right now. The St. Paul Saints hit the road to begin a 6-game series against the Omaha Storm Chasers tonight. We'll let you know when they are back at CHS Field. They're 25-23 on the season. Corey Lou, takes the
crazy.
mound for St. Paul tonight. First pitch at 6:35. Won't be long until Zach goes down there at CHS Field. Check out saintsbaseball.com. Okay. You want to hit that phone for me?
Sure.
Good. I'm going to bring my special guest in. Tomorrow is a very, very special day. It is the ribbon cutting ceremony for Bravo Zulu House. Bravo Zulu House is a brand new $1 million facility in southern Minnesota. It's a veterans sober living home that provides services to vets recovering from PTSD and substance abuse disorder. On the board of directors is my very good friend, Major John Donovan. I've known you for quite some time, sir, and I know this has been a thing that you've been very passionate about, and I am just saying, first and foremost, congratulations that tomorrow is the ribbon-cutting ceremony. I know this has been a passion thing for you. So my first question for you, Major John Donovan, is why do we need Bravo Zulu House, and what is it?
Well, Chris, thank you for asking that question, and good morning to all of you. Thank you for having me on the show. You know, Chris, since 9/11, we have lost 7,500 soldiers to combat-related deaths. But in that same 24-year period, we've lost over 120,000 veterans to suicide. Oh. And of those veterans, 90% of them had both PTSD and addiction. And nobody is really addressing this. You know, we spend millions of dollars on homelessness and we'll spend millions of dollars on suicide. And nobody is talking about the nexus between those two, which is substance use disorder. And so Bravo Zulu is going to break that paradigm. We have America's first all-military sober home helping veterans with PTSD and addiction. That's why Bravo Zulu House.
Wow. And this is located in Winnebago, Minnesota. Is that correct?
That's correct, yeah. Winnebago in southern Minnesota, just a little north of I-90. And your listeners might be wondering, well, why are we talking about Winnebago? That's in southern Minnesota. Because Bravo Zulu House will be receiving referrals from all over the state of Minnesota.
Wow, that's great. And how can, by the way, I want to get this out of the way right away. I'm sure that the list is long for people looking to be involved and to get help at Bravo Zulu House. How can people go about starting that process?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's going to be a ribbon-cutting ceremony on property tomorrow. Your listeners want to drive down there and be a part of it. that would be fantastic. But if they can't make it, they can always go to our website, which is www.bravozuluhouse, all one word, spelled just like it sounds, .org. bravozuluhouse.org.
Again, Major John Donovan is my guest. I know you kind of already answered this question, but how important is sobriety to treating PTSD?
Well, it's paramount. I mean, imagine that somebody is dealing with nightmares, post-traumatic stress, combat stress, and then they're medicating themselves. During that medication, while they're intoxicated, we can't get to the core issues. So sobriety is key, getting the person on a program of recovery so then we can start addressing the issues that are causing their nightmares, causing the sleeplessness, causing them to feel restless, irritable, discontent.
Wow. I love that you're trying your best to close the gap there, and then we're beginning the process of that. And I'm going to guess once this Bravo Zulu House gets up and is successful and people see that the success that you guys are going to be having, maybe we'll be able to open more of these, not only in Minnesota, but across the nation.
Well, that's exactly spot on. We are raising money currently to open a female veterans Bravo Zulu House, template the one that we're working on right now, and get that going for our female veterans. And then there has been interest in other states stepping up and saying, hey, we need the same thing. Of the approximately 20,000 sober homes in and across the United States, that's 20,000, 0 are addressing what Bravo Zulu is doing. So we envision that this is going to be templated across the U.S.
Go ahead, Marnie.
Major Donovan, I'm just looking at the website right now, and I had never really thought of this or connected these dots, but this sober house is intentional in the house part, because part of recovery is providing apparently a setting that is like a home, and where there is gardening and where there are dogs and just things you might find in your everyday life when you're in a safe and sound home. How much is that a part of the recovery and just providing this functioning household environment?
Yeah, that is exactly right. While our veterans are staying at Bravo Zulu House, and this is a hand up, this isn't a hand out. They're required to be employed. If they can't find employment in the local area, they can be involved at Bravo Zulu House in hydroponic farming. Or, as you saw on the website, training service dogs. And this is going to be so great. They're going to be working with these service dogs so that they in turn can help some of our veterans who are suffering from things like anxiety disorder. And we know how important that can be in their recovery process. So not only does this give them that environment, that camaraderie, that esprit de corps that they had when they were in the service and wearing the uniform, but now they can carry that over to the sober living home environment while they're working. And it's so important for them to have a task and purpose. You know, we got to have a reason to get out of bed this morning. You guys get up at 3, 4 a.m. to get on the air. They're going to have that same kind of task and purpose. I got to get up because those dogs need to be fed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Major John Donovan, again, is our guest, and bravozuluhouse.org is the website. Tomorrow is the ribbon cutting ceremony. It's a giant step forward, but it is just the beginning for what you guys are doing. You know, I'm a huge fan of yours and of this entire project. Anything we can do to help, Major John Donovan, please reach out to us. I'll see you tonight at the show, but again, congratulations on tomorrow. And anybody who wants to get involved, even if you can't be there, you can do so financially. They'd really appreciate it. bravozuluhouse.org. Bravo Zulu is Navy slang for good job. And I'm saying to all of you, Major John Donovan, good job, man.
Bravo Zulu.
I love it. We'll see you tonight, buddy. Thank you.
You bet.
There he goes. An Iraq war veteran himself, Major John Donovan, Red Bull here from the state of Minnesota.
Man, that number is sobering. I had no idea it was even remotely that big of a number. That's insane. It
really is something to see. And this is, I think it's, I'm not throwing fault on anybody, but how our veterans are forgotten. Once they get back and you think, they get this benefit, they get that, but they also come back with a lot of trauma. And I saw a video of one of the doggies they trained. Boy, I get choked up. where a veteran is walking through the woods and hears a gunshot, and it triggers them, and a doggy literally gives them a hug. Oh, it's important stuff. So there you go. So that's the news right there. So bravozuluhouse.org. There you go. Check it out and help him out. That's a good dude, man. That's a good guy. So there you go. And we move into other news now, ladies and gentlemen. Stuff that matters a lot less than that, obviously. Let me see. Oh, here you go. St. Paul area is near the middle of best places to visit this summer. St. Paul area, no kidding. Wallet Hub has published a report of the 100 largest metro areas based off of 41 key indicators, including cost of the cheapest flight and the number of attractions. Minneapolis, St. Paul, and Bloomington metro area came in 39th, scoring the top 30 for activities. How about that? Oh. There you go. So good job, everybody.
Anybody who's been here in the summer knows this.
Yeah, of course.
Minneapolis, Twin Cities in the summer, every weekend there's some great festival. Dude, it's fantastic.
If you go outside, absolutely.
Correct.
I guess you're right.
For those of us who brave the outside.
Because I've lived here for 45 years, and I couldn't tell you one thing to do this entire summer. Go outside, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
there's fun things out there.
Things to do inside, too, Mom.
There sure are.
You better believe me, right?
Like starting today because the World Series of Poker starts, so I assume I'll be watching nothing but poker go for the next 6 weeks indoors. Is it supposed to be nice out the next 6 weeks?
I think it's going to rain.
It's going to rain, but I like that.
See, good excuse to stay in for the next month and a half.
But you know what, dude?
Yeah.
You watching the World Series of Poker Tour, or whatever the hell it's called, is how I picture Sauce watching Sesame Street when he was a kid. You learn nothing.
Well played. Even though that's a shot at me, you are correct, sir.
You're just watching it. It goes one eye and out the other.
Yep. Not listening.
Yeah, to prove the point, you laughed so hard I wasn't sure if you got the joke.
I thought it was funny.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do insiders call the World Series of Poker the World Series of Poker the What's Up?
No, they do not call it the What's Up.
Do they call it the What's Up?
They call it that.
WSOP maybe, but not the What's Up. No.
They should.
That would be insane.
That's why you guys are dorks.
For the next 6 weeks, can we refer to it as the What's Up?
We will. Marnie, we will. Let's make it happen.
Yes.
We're going to do it.
And when I want to know the update, I'll just say, Corey, what's up?
And I'll be like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Well,
congratulations.
That goes without saying.
Yes.
We all know that.
Finally time to cash that ticket.
No, not like that.
You don't need to listen on that.
Speaking of that, is Zach here already? Is he back there in the darkness?
I don't think we should check on him because a man suffered a gunshot wound following a bar fight in White Bear Lake yesterday.
Oh, no.
So it might have been Zacho. I don't know if he did the shooting or got shot. Well, you know what? Never mind.
He's been living dangerous ever since he started the gang life.
Yeah, he has.
Daddy.
He's waving back there.
Oh,
There's somebody in there.
Hey, Zacho.
Hey, Zacho's back.
Let me turn his mic on.
Zacho.
Yeah,
Hey, Zach, did you get shot?
No.
Did you do some shooting?
I did do. I am the shooter.
Oh, well, you might not want to say that on the air, brother.
Say that. Listen to the Hulkster.
Well, you're white, so Lawyer Lambert will represent you.
And finally, a man is dead after a bizarre encounter in Florida, of course, on Monday. Marnie, don't be sad. Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd says Timothy Schultz swam across a lake and was bitten by an alligator. Yep. And then for some reason got out of the lake and charged the deputies with garden shears. They tased him twice, but he managed to climb into a running patrol car and just tried to grab a deputy's gun. So they shot him.
So he swims across a lake or a pond and gets attacked by an alligator. Somehow survives that.
That's right.
And then tries to steal a gun. Hang on.
Where does he get the garden shears?
I don't know.
I'm going to guess. I have one guess, and it's 4 letters.
Go ahead. Say it.
Meth.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Corey, how dare you?
Come on,
Has to be.
How dare you?
How dare you?
You have to feel like you have superpowers to survive an alligator attack and be like, that's not enough mayhem.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can mess up these cops
Corey, you've
with
won.
garden shears.
You are correct. Schultz had a long history of meth-related arrests.
What? Oh, no.
And he just happened to have garden shears in his pocket.
My God. What is he wearing? Jinko jeans?
I don't know.
What does he have?
How did the shears survive the trip across the lake and the alligator bite? He came out of the lake with the shears in the pants?
Is there a chance he stole them from the alligator?
Is there a
Correct.
chance
That the gator was
alligator
doing
stole
some
his meth?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why he jumped in there with shears. He was going to take the gator's eyeball out. He took a hand from Chubbs.
What was the show we were watching, Max, about Florida things?
Oh, what was it? Wasn't it just...
Only in Florida or something like that?
Florida Man or something.
Yeah. Because one of those, the guy got bit by an alligator, remember?
And he swam. He said he saw the alligators and then he went in, like he went back in.
Yeah,
right?
something like that.
Yeah, or he wanted to go back in.
Man.
He wanted some more of that.
Weird things happen. The heat causes crazy, and meth. Crazy things
it happens.
In Florida.
Equal blame.
Yeah.
Oh, HBO shows, right? Because that show was on Max. Was it not the HBO, the Florida bit?
I think so, yeah.
Is anybody else watching The Rehearsal with Nathan Fielder?
Dude, I've been telling y'all about this. It's an insane concept. It's so crazy.
I watched season 1, and I just recently started season 2. Over the weekend, I watched episode 2, and I cried for about 2 minutes straight at the final joke of that episode. And if I showed you it right now, just without the full episode, you'd go, I don't understand why that's funny at all. I couldn't stop wiping away tears because I thought it was such a brilliant 35-minute setup for just one joke. And I like tip of the cap. Like, I wish I could have like given him money. Like, really? I was so in awe of like the joke. I'm like, God dang it, this guy's a genius. Cried laughing for at least 90 straight seconds.
Really? He's a mastermind.
Have you seen most of season 2?
I've only seen episode 1 of season 2 so far, but season 1 was one of the most insane shows.
It's so creative, and it is. It's not for everybody. I think that's fair to say. That
it even sounds crazy when you explain it to someone else. Like, you just have to watch it.
But I think most people aren't going to like it. Fair to say? Because it's so weird.
It is very weird, especially in season 1, because it takes a turn into being like a continuous serial story. I liked kind of when he was episodic and he was helping individual people, but then when it turns into that weird kind of fatherhood story, I would say a lot of people are out on that.
Man.
It's 96% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Dude, I think the guy's a genius, but again, he's not for everyone. But man, the end of episode 2, it hit me, and I before I even opened the door and went out to the hallway, I knew what was going to happen, and I started crying, laughing almost immediately. And then he opens up the little thing, and you see the number. People that have seen the episode know what I'm talking about, and I couldn't stop laughing. Just genius.
Have you watched Nathan For You, his other show?
No, I've heard about how awesome that is, though, too. Good. I got to dive in, because that guy's just the best, man.
That one,
Nathan Fielder's a genius.
He's amazing, dude.
Marney Gellner, your team is falling apart. We got to ask you all about it after this. They are down 3 games to 1. This is the Power Trip Morning Show on The Fan.
All right, here we are. 7:26, Power Trip Morning Show. For all of you emailed or texted me looking for that website, bravozuluhouse.org, BRAVOZULU house.org, bravozuluhouse.org. Thank you, Major John Donovan. Johnny Bones is over there, Marney Gellner's over there, and whether we like it or not, ladies and gentlemen, we've got to talk about your Wolves.
It's time for Fan 5 on the Power Trip, presented by All Around, your TimberTech deck building contractor.
Thank you, All Around.
Hey, what happened? The Minnesota Timberwolves lost 128-126. Come on, Rosie, to OKC.
Grow up, Rose.
Yeah, Rosie, grow up. The Oklahoma City Thunder have a commanding 3-1 series lead. Ant and Julius Randle combined for 21 points. SGA, he had 40. Nickeil Alexander-Walker led the Wolves with 23 points. Game 5 is tomorrow at 7:30. The Thunder are a 8.5-point favorite. OKC is minus 4,000 to win the series.
Sounds about right.
Yikes.
Martin, so many things were positive last night, and they still came up short, obviously, because of Ant and Randall. But how do you walk away from Game 4 with so many things going our way and still coming up short?
That's interesting that you would look at it as so many things going our way. Like, you're taking the glass half full approach to what the way the Wolves played last night.
Well,
you're
it's
looking
almost,
at Nickeil, Dante.
Exactly. It's almost the opposite of the first 2 series, right? The first 2 series were like, where is this bench that's supposed to be so good? Because they played like ass against the Lakers and ass against the Warriors. And now last night, they played their best game as a group.
Yeah.
Nas didn't do much, but I mean, at least Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Dante were just unbelievable. And even Terrence Shannon in limited minutes was instant offense. So you had this dynamic bench that finally shows up, and we needed them to show up in the Western Conference Finals to have a chance against OKC. And they did their job tenfold. And then our stars didn't show.
Yeah.
It's what? Oh, like, this is the game they take off? Damn it.
No.
Yeah, it's, man, that we had to have that one last night, and it was right there. But boy, it was difficult. Everything we did, it seemed, was difficult because that's how good OKC is. That's how good defensively they are. They totally took Julius Randle out of his game. They almost totally took Anthony Edwards out of his game. I was shocked that we were dribbling and turning the ball over, especially in the first quarter. We had 7 turnovers in the first quarter. And as I was watching this game, I'm like, didn't we play the first, especially 2 games against this team? Don't we know we can't dribble? That was really frustrating to watch. But 22 turnovers for the game, or 23, I just feel like was a bottom line thing. And we actually had more points off turnovers than OKC. We got 25 points off their 14 turnovers. They got 22 off our 23. But that means 23 times when we had the ball, we did not get a shot. We did not get a clean offensive possession. 23 times. Just because OKC didn't directly score off of all of those are just killer.
Well, and I think part of what keyed that is they were so good, so efficient offensively, OKC was, that it ends up with a dead ball situation, right? And this offense, we bring it up, and they've got their defense set. They've got their box and one in place.
Yeah, they're very disciplined. They are attention to detail.
And when they are making their shots, and they were making their shots, they've scored 128 points, and they scored 38 points in the fourth quarter. And when that happens, they are so much better defensively when their offense is working, and their offense is working.
As are most teams.
Right.
But we actually shot better than OKC. They were 50.5%. We were 51.2. And I did see, Hawk, when you texted the group chat last night with can we just hit a 3? Yeah. I specifically didn't respond because I was like, well, we're actually shooting it really well from 3 tonight.
Yeah, I don't know much.
Okay. The Wolves did hit 18.
I just want to be a part of your party.
3-pointers. They were for 44%. So
offensive rebounds killing us.
I don't know why it felt like they kept missing.
I mean, if you could be objective, like if you were broadcasting that game, you could step back and say the shot making in that game was incredible, especially in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
Just the play in general. That was a fantastic game.
Yeah, OKC was 9 of 10 on open shots in the fourth quarter.
But Mars, it's kind of what I was saying earlier.
10 open shots.
Yeah, this is what we said going into the series: is there's no wiggle room against OKC when you win 68 games in the regular season, right? We can play like Game 5 against the Lakers. We can miss 43s and find
win.
a way to beat the Lakers because the Lakers are garbage. We can play our D- game against the Warriors, and without Steph, we can still steal a game or 2. You can't do that against OKC, and last night's the perfect example. We got an A+ out of Dante and Nickeil, and we wasted it because the wiggle room is 0. You can't have Ant have 2 shots at halftime. You can't have Julius Randle have 5 points for the game. That's just never going to be enough. You have to have everybody have like their A or better game, and to not have Ant show up in the Western Conference Finals in Game 4 at home, I just don't understand it. Like I don't know what Chris Finch is going to be able to tell him between now and Game 5 to change that. You have to take over because again his post game comments were frustrating. Just like I wouldn't say I struggled. It's like I know you're moving the ball and you're finding open guys, but SGA had 40. That's why he's MVP. You had 16 points, and you had like 2 at halftime and 2 shots. Like, good players take over the game regardless of the defense. If you want to be a legend, you have to take over and be unstoppable, and he was very stoppable for most of the game. Super frustrating.
There's been multiple times in this series where you say to yourself, is Ant playing? And then you're like, oh, he's on the court. Oh, that's weird. And he's just kind of slowly moving back from baseline to baseline. And then you go, where's Randall? Oh, he's been in for like 6 minutes. Mm-hmm. They just don't make the impact that you need him to. And as Corey said a couple hours ago, there have been so many games in this series where you go, man, if we didn't have Randall, this would have been a blowout. And he has, ever since they kind of slowed him down in, was it game 2? He has been a non-factor.
And they both just need to continue to find other ways to get involved even when they're not scoring.
Defensively.
Yeah,
right.
like find a way to get yourself going, find a way to make a difference either way. Like, and we've seen Ant be an incredible playmaker at times. Even throughout this postseason run, he's been incredible at getting his teammates involved. So he just they need to find ways to stay active, particularly Randall, because it seems like they're taking away. He can't really play his patented Randall bully ball against this OKC team that's packing the paint and has some real size down low. So I think they both need to, they both need to find different ways to get involved in the game, and then eventually it'll open back up for him. But I think Julius Randle especially, like, we were so good at playing inside out where he was kind of our point guard. And those corners are wide open against this OKC team, and the Wolves finally punished them with Dante and Nikhil. Yep. But there was inverse games. OKC got the best from their top 3 and not a lot from their supporting cast. We got the best from our supporting cast, but not a lot from our top 2.
Hey, Marnes, what do we do with Naz Reid moving forward? Because obviously, like, the big money's already there for Ant, right? Like, it doesn't matter if he doesn't show up or not. He's got like $1 bazillion a year. But Naz is the 6th man of the year. We all know how valuable he is. The community loves him, but he finds a way to go the wrong way in the postseason. You got to show up in the biggest moments. We need way more of these last 2 years. We need way more out of Naz Reid than we're getting. What's going on with Naz? What do we do?
Are you talking playoff specific?
Playoff specifically.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
that's when you make your money, right? Like,
I know,
playoffs for dough, as PA likes to say.
Yes.
It's true.
Yes.
I mean, earlier in this playoffs, because Nikhil Alexander-Walker is about to be a free agent, earlier in this playoffs, there was chatter like, man, he's losing himself some money.
Yep.
And then he just stepped up huge. And last night was another example of, man, he's winning himself some money. And it's like, wow, is there that big of a swing on the next contract you're going to sign that's 4 years long based on your 2 or 3 weeks of a postseason?
Sometimes.
But sometimes it is because the spotlight is that bright on the playoffs. I would say Naz is as disappointed as anyone. He was super efficient last night, though. 3 of 4 with 11 points, but we need more than the 4 opportunities. So
yes.
I'm
glad you brought up Nikhil, though, because let me ask you a different question, not just to pinpoint Naz. If you're Tim Connolly and you're looking at Naz for the next 3, 4, 5 years, or same thing with Nikhil Alexander-Walker, do you throw big money, relatively big money, at either or both or neither? What do you do with either one of them? Because like you just said, it's like, all right, cool, you got a big game out of Nikhil last night, but have we had enough in these 3 series? I don't think so. What about Naz? What do you do with these 2?
Yeah. Well, I would basically like to keep everybody. And the structure
tough,
of this new second apron in the NBA, I don't understand all the details of it, but I know it is significant enough that you just can't live there. And we are in it. And so I would guess it's going to be difficult to sign both of them. I don't know who we prioritize. I want them both. I love them both. That's why people like Tim Connolly make big money, because they have to figure that stuff out. Not just what works, what fits, but also dollar cents wise, what fits with our team wise. If we're keeping that guy, then we can afford to not keep that guy. It's a massive puzzle piece.
Rosie just texted me. He said a second apron is what he calls a threesome.
Yeah.
Wow, Rosie.
Fry up that bacon, Rosie.
Why is he saying that?
Makes sense. There's no way he's invited another dude, right? That part makes sense.
Yeah.
And she's cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah, she hot.
Yeah.
John, can you stick around?
Oh, I'm not sure I want to. But yes.
Gotta go to the bar. Okay, good. More with Marney Gellner, more with John Bonus, more of the Power Trip Morning Show after this on The Fan.
Hey, welcome 44. Hi, Johnny Bones.
Hi, kids.
Sounds like an 80s rock anthem, doesn't it?
Sure does.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah. Oh, Marney.
Yeah.
Don't give up, okay?
Marney's here.
The Frost won the championship.
No one cares.
Oh.
Frost won the championship.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was cool.
Oh, yeah.
And the Lynx are doing great.
The Lynx are 4-0.
And
Playing tonight.
And
What time will that be?
7 o'clock.
And the Wolves ain't dead yet.
Ain't dead.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah, it's over.
Shocking. How come you haven't read any of his tweets? Did I tweet anything?
Well, again, I screenshot.
I did that
the
once.
one last week.
Jesus.
Where Sauce wanted Ant traded.
What? Did you just say?
That is probably the best description of what Sauce does, truth be told.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I did comment on one of Sauce's Instagram photos of his beautiful boy, Louis.
Thank you.
With his, and I commented something like, those cheeks, though. And then he messaged me back. He has great cheeks. It was Greet.
Oh,
I was like,
really?
that's adorable.
He does.
He loves
They
to greet
greet you.
people
Yeah,
with
with
his cheeks. His face cheeks.
Yeah, his face cheeks.
Louis the best.
9 hours ago, Sauce tweeted, "Season over. F Minnesota sports."
Well, it's true.
You stand by it?
Yeah. Will you sing?
What's that by? I can't sing the
You
real
don't want
song.
to get sued.
I don't get sued.
11 hours ago, you tweeted, "Get a bleeping rebound."
Yeah, then I realized they were getting a lot of them.
Well, that's like me. See, that's the thing. I thought it looked like they weren't making a single three.
Yeah, that's
But
okay.
they were, I guess.
You and I don't get basketball.
I don't care. And no, I know I messed up when nobody replies to my text.
Don't know.
Nobody.
It's like
Not
a
a single
15-person text chain. So when you get crickets,
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm just going to send a DP.
That might be crickets, too. 11
Oh!
hours ago, Ryan Donaldson, who used to work here, tweeted, "What a stupid brand of basketball Shea plays. Most embarrassing MVP in league history," and Sauce retweeted it.
Yeah, and then he ripped Quasi a few tweets later at the draft party.
What?
No, you don't know that story?
But what?
I'm joking. It's a bad joke.
I was okay.
it's aggressive.
Man, you were really tweeting out that Ari gif of him throwing the cell phone.
I like that guy.
Hey, he was on my show on Fox the other day.
Oh, was he?
Jeremy Piven,
Is
yeah.
that right?
How'd they go?
Well, there's a reason he was on our show. I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Wow. He's not doing great.
Oh, no.
He isn't?
Doesn't seem like it.
No.
Is
he
Johnny
thinks he
Chase
is.
not making that money anymore?
I don't think he's getting that. Yeah.
What's Johnny chasing?
Johnny Chase.
9 hours ago, you tweeted a gif of Ari Gold throwing a phone that simply said, "Great effort, Randall and Ant."
Yeah. I stand by that.
How about this? You retweeted somebody named Greg Harvey.
Greg Harvey.
He's got two first names.
Barnes, the Wolves lost to the Thunder 128-126.
Yep.
Greg tweeted, "Teams entered today 0 and 190 all time in the playoffs when having fewer rebounds, fewer assists, fewer free throw attempts, a lower field goal percentage, lower 3-point percentage, and lower free throw percentage in a game than their opponent. The Thunder just made it 1 and 190. So the Thunder, first team ever to trail in all of those categories and still win.
Yeah. And how about turnovers? I noticed Greg didn't mention turnovers when your team turns it over 23 times. Should that factor in, Greg?
You stand by it?
The only reason we lost.
Going after Greg.
Hold on to the ball.
Oh.
Yeah.
I do want to comment on Sauce's tweet of F Minnesota sports. Only because I want to make sure, and I feel like I talked about this last year.
Where the party is.
We are in the Western Conference Finals, and it is May 27th, and the regular season has been over for 6 weeks, and our basketball team is still playing basketball. There are 4 teams left in the NBA still playing basketball. 4.
Marty, you're right. The season's too long.
And we have one of them. And I'm not saying we should be fine with the loss and who cares? And let's go out. Let's get swept. Who cares? Not saying that at all. But when the dust settles, and even throughout the dust, remember that playoff basketball is awesome. And a deep run in the NBA playoffs is awesome. And we are in the Western Conference Finals.
But since John Bonus's baseball team in the last 34 years, this is the plateau, right? The Western Conference Finals or for every team. We have not made a final or finals in a major men's sport in 34 years.
Okay,
no
but
Super Bowls,
isn't this
no
how it
NBA
starts?
finals, Stanley Cup finals. But yeah,
Corey, this is how it starts. You
I
go to the
agree.
Western Conference Finals in back-to-back years.
With a 23-year-old
And you lose in
superstar.
5 games.
And then the next year, do you know how many NBA fans would say, God, I would love if my team would go to the Western Conference Finals and win and lose it in 5 games?
It isn't glamorous.
And to back up your point, this team has exceeded every expectation that you could have had at basically any point during the season or even during the postseason. This team was not supposed, after that cat trade, this team was not supposed to be in the Western Conference Finals again.
Nor at Christmas, nor at the All-Star break.
And during the postseason, this team was not. Yeah, nor at Christmas.
Again,
nor in March.
Famously, everybody picked the Lakers on that ESPN channel.
They weren't supposed to make it out of the first round. They were long shots to make it out of the second round. Yeah, the was what minus 200 or something when that second round started to beat to knock off the Warriors.
Weren't the Wolves slight favorites against the Warriors?
Yeah, they were favorites because
the Wolves were favorites
because it was the first time that a Steve Kerr team was not favored in a playoff series.
There goes your whole argument, John Bonus.
You are so
they were slight favorites.
I remember the Warriors being minus 150.
Pat, don't say that.
Maybe after the first game, right? Maybe after the loss.
Maybe it's
switched.
All right, so one game we were actually favored to make it, but
you are so cute.
But they also lost Steph Curry in that game, so I don't know if we were ever dogs. It doesn't matter. Point is I think Sauce's point is Marnes. It is super cool to get down to the final.
Standing up for me?
Because the hot dog thing. It is super cool to get down to the Final Four, but when are we going to get down to the Final 2 or the Final 1?
It's coming.
By the way, they were not favored coming into this series either.
No, this was the first time we were dogs, for sure.
This was the actual 1 seed.
Right. Yeah, this was the real deal. We understood we were the dogs.
I was mad last night. I mean, I was yelling. I was watching the game with both of my kids, and we were up and down. There was so I'm not saying you can't let your emotions out, be frustrating, even be downright pissed.
Of course,
they lost that game.
Fight the power.
It's just that
you can do that too.
Also, remember to take a minute. If it has to be the next day or maybe next week or whatever, remember to also take a minute and realize that this is awesome.
See, by the way, I've always felt that about teams like the Patriots. If you win 3 or 4 or 5 Super Bowls, then once in a while you got to be happy with a AFC title game loss. You're like, all right, we don't get to win every year.
Yes.
When we never win, though,
correct.
It's hard to feel excited about another disappointment. If once a decade,
we never get this far.
Agreed, but then we do when we get kicked in the nuts every time. Whether it's the NFC title games or Western Conference Finals for the
2.
Wild.
We didn't get kicked in the gun.
No,
they're down 3-1.
I'm just saying, in general, if we were a market that once a decade got one of our major men's teams to win a title, then I would think you're 100% right. We should be like, well, we don't get to win every one of them. This is still a super fun run.
Sure.
But it's been 3.5 decades of this.
It doesn't matter.
Pat.
Well, this is the change.
Take it, Pat.
Yeah.
This is the start of a new generation of Wolves fans that are going to know a winning team.
And we've mentioned this a couple times in the last couple of weeks. Last year, I felt so much more like you just said. Like last year, I was like, this is so much fun. And all right, that was kind of a buzzkill against Dallas. But man, what a fun ride. This year, the Western Conference Finals don't feel nearly as fun as last year because it felt like we should have been more
winning. Yes,
more
and we
competitive.
should be winning these games.
If we lose to OKC in 7 like Denver just did, you'd say, man, that's a 68-win team. That's like the 5th best record in NBA regular season history. Of course they're going to lose. That's tough. But to be so uncompetitive in most of it, the first two games at least, then you blow them out in game
That's
3.
half, Corey.
What are you going to do?
That's true, but you just put up no fight in the first 2. You blow them out in game 3, and then you have this weird anomaly where you do everything right in game 4 and still find a way to lose.
I got to believe OKC is feeling the same way, though, as in terms of saying, we did everything yesterday. We were perfect, and we only won by 2.
Yeah.
They got to be feeling the pressure of the Timberwolves saying their top 2 guys did almost nothing, and we only won by 2.
Over under Ant with 35 points in game 5.
Wow. Under. Because they're going to bracket him with Dort.
I don't disagree, but I'm saying this has to be a game where Blue Dort, not Dorf again. Dorf on golf does not play basketball.
He's terrible on defense.
His legs are really stuck.
He's okay on defense.
He's got to have like a dominant mid-30s plus game where he's a major factor from the tip all the way to the end.
Even if he's not, even if he gives us 15 to 20, if he takes their best defender, Dort, out of action, because Dort is so glued to Ant, and it leaves everybody else open to produce, especially if you add Julius Randle in, if he has a 20-point night, then we win this game by almost 20.
Yeah.
If everything stays the same, because Ant attracting so much defense is a big reason why Dante had 21, Nikhil had 23, Jaden had 22, because Dort and company are all over Ant. So that's when he does make the right play, that's what it looks like. That's why we almost beat OKC in that situation.
Lou Dort's a terrible name, but the one that bothers me the most on the team, because it just sounds like it's a Donald Trump nickname, is Isaiah Joe. Like that Joe can't be Sleepy Joe. Like it's like every time they're like Isaiah Joe for 3. I'm like, yeah, but what's his full name? How can that be his full name? You can't have a last name Joe.
Sure you can.
Yeah, it does sound made up.
It sounds made up.
That's a real person.
Isaiah Joe.
What about that guy Cotton-eyed?
Oh, brilliant.
Like it sounds like it should be Isaiah Joe something, right? Like Isaiah Joe Anderson.
Sure. Isaiah Joe Barrero.
Yeah, Isaiah Joe Barrero.
Lou Dort's first name
Isaiah Joe
is actually Lugentz.
And his
Lugentz.
And his dad's name is Lou Frentz. No joke.
Ooh. Oh.
Lou Dort.
He's pudgy.
What?
Pat.
His dad?
What? What's your problem?
Lou
Pat?
Dort's a great name.
Yeah. No. Oh, Pat.
Sorry. Okay, sorry, Pat.
Do you hear the PA at Target Center when Lou Dort does score a basket? He just goes, Dort.
Does he really? Oh, that's great.
What a weirdo.
Yeah.
What? That's great. Yeah,
He was
Anyway.
there. He was there yesterday.
Lou Dort
No, PA.
at the game at Target Center?
It's been a great run.
Oh, thanks, Pat. Yeah, I think so. He was tweeting like he was there.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a chance tomorrow.
she's right. I'm with you, Martins. Don't give up.
That's right.
Yep. As the great Lisa Lai left Lopes once said, anything is possible.
She said that?
I did not know that
Couple
was
things. It must be Lisa Left Eye Lopez's birthday. That's number one. And her famous line was not anything is possible. That's Kevin Garnett. I believe her famous line was, Andre, I'm going to burn your house down.
Correct. Look out.
All right, P Left Eye.
Oh, man. Remember when she lit up Andre Rison's house?
Yeah.
Now, that's a gal after my own heart. She dabbled in arson.
Yeah.
Lisa, I left Lopes.
Yeah. Today is definitely her
That's a full
birthday.
sentence.
When did she die? Like
She died
2000?
in 02.
02? Okay.
yeah.
2002.
Yep. She would have been
Man,
53
she led a
today.
life.
Yep.
I loved TLC.
Yeah.
Man.
Does she have a problem with the right eye?
I don't think so. I think she just wore the eye patch
Okay,
for her
cool.
look. I don't think she had an actual vision problem.
T-Boz had and continues to have some serious medical issues. She has, I can't remember.
Cough due to cold?
That's sickle cell.
Oh, wow, man. Yeah.
And it affected their tour. It was a big deal. Probably still is, because I don't think that's something you get cured of. Why is Lisa called Left Eye? A friend reportedly complimented her on her left eye, saying it was more slanted and attractive than her right eye.
Oh.
What a weird thing to say. Basically, you have one good-looking eye.
Yeah, that is weird.
Strange. The 8 o'clock hour of the Power Trip Morning Show. After this, we'll do Fan 5, we'll do headlines. This is the Power Trip on the Fan.
Here we go.
The Fan.